Hi, my friend is trying to get a wheelchair. Link below. Okay, but wanting more money doesn't make someone selfish. Pause here for title card. Wish Dragon is an amazing film, and you should all go watch it immediately. Stop what you're doing. Yes, you. Pause the video, go to Netflix. We'll reconvene later.
2 hours later.
Wish Dragon is about a young boy named Din who gets a teapot from a god. The teapot is inhabited by a magical wish dragon named Long, who will grant Din 3 wishes. No, it's not an Aladdin ripoff. There are 3 goons trying to track down the teapot while Din tries to reunite with Lena, his childhood best friend, and shenanigans ensue. It's such a good movie, but its message makes me a tad uncomfortable.
Now the moral of our story, it's the point we hope we've made.
Be grateful for what you have, and don't be selfish, because people make your life rich. Great message, except for how it's framed. The internal conflict of the movie is communicated through the 2 characters, Din and Long. They have inverse character journeys. Din starts the movie being content with his life except for one thing. He misses his childhood friend Lena. Long, on the other hand, is not content with his life. After living his human life in pursuit of riches, he was cursed by the god to live as a wish dragon and serve 10 masters by granting them their wishes. Din doesn't care about money. Money is all Long cares for.
Poor, poor Long. I see what your problem is.
You're my only problem.
I wouldn't expect your tiny reptilian brain to understand the power of human friendship. Oh.
And I was the best human ever! One of the most beloved and respected lords in the history of China. And you know why?
Because you had a lot of friends?
No! Because I had all the wealth, and all the land, and all the power, and everyone loved me for it!
But as the story progresses, Long learns that money isn't everything. He could have piles of gold, but it amounts to nothing without friendship and family. Aww. When Din reaches his breaking point, where he finally gives in and demands that Long make him bonkers rich, Long has reached a point where he's realized his mistakes in life by putting wealth above everything. Lena's dad, Mr. Wang, is making the same mistakes Long made when he was a human. Lena and her dad are extremely rich, except they aren't. Lena is miserable because everyone in her life is looking to get something out of her because of her power and prestige. Lena's father has devoted himself to getting wealth so that his daughter can live the best life. Unfortunately, the pursuit of wealth has bankrupted his company. Out of desperation, he tries to track down Long's teapot. Mr. Wang works so hard for his daughter that he's never in her life, but as Lena says,
I never needed any of that. All I ever wanted was my dad. All I wanted was you.
The lonely rich kid is an extremely common trope in kids' media. If someone is rich, you just know that they don't have any friends. Toph, Adrian, Amity, Kagami, Pacifica, Asami, Tony Stark, etc. And they need to learn from their new poor best friend that having wealth is nothing without friends. It's better to be poor and happy instead of rich and miserable. On the surface, a message about valuing your friends and family over the pursuit of money is good. The problem comes when you start to dig into it. Wish Dragon only shows 2 extremes. Either you are content and live in poverty, or you're rich AF.
Assume stands for and fun.
Oh, it doesn't.
And miserable. Wish Dragon just casually forgets that there is a middle ground between poverty and millionaire. Like, sure, Din doesn't need piles and piles of gold to make him happy, but piles and piles of gold will make his life and his neighbors' lives easier. Acquiring wealth is not evil in and of itself. evil comes from hoarding wealth. Oh, I get it. Dragons hoard wealth, and as a human, long hoarded wealth. Clever. A moment that sticks out in my mind is after Din meets Lena again at her birthday party, and Long tells Din that gold is the solution to all of his problems.
My point is, there's a simple solution to every problem in the world, including yours. Use it.
So that's what you've learned after all these years?
Yes.
And the film frames it as if Long is wrong and Din is right to refuse wealth, but, money would solve a lot of problems. With money, Din's mom wouldn't have to work so hard, and his neighbors could have easier lives, and so many people could be lifted out of poverty. In order to pretend that money can't solve Din's problems, the movie has to ignore the effects of poverty. Poverty has a cumulative effect on people's physical and mental health. Being poor is insanely stressful. To constantly worry about bills, housing, and food, to work constantly, then come home, eat, and do the same thing each day ad nauseum. It destroys you. Poor people have shorter life expectancy, terrible mental health, greater rates of depression and anxiety, are more likely to have a chronic illness, to be in an abusive relationship, and to struggle with substance abuse disorders. And the movie asks me to pretend that none of that exists. It frames any attempt to gain wealth as wrong. And I think the movie does this for two reasons. Reason the first. It's an escapist fantasy. Well, duh, it's an animated kids movie about a magical wish dragon. But I think it's escapist on another level, because all of the characters that are rich are miserable. It allows poor people to feel better about their poverty. If excess wealth makes people sad, then it's better to be happy and poor. It lets those in poverty for once be able to look down on rich people. Reason the two. It impresses on the poor that asking for more is selfish. Any attempt to be financially stable is giving into your dark side. And since leftism is making a resurgence, the bourgeoisie need us to get that message. But asking for enough to live does not make us selfish. It's the people who are hoarding the wealth that are greedy. I grew up poor. My mom had to work 2 to 3 jobs to support the family. I barely saw her. Honestly, it was like living with a stranger. Money, or rather the lack of money, consumed my childhood. My mom tried to hide it from us, but kids pick up on that anxiety, and it has a profound impact. Even today, whenever I spend any money, whether bills or groceries or clothes or anything, I still get panic attacks. But everything changed.
Fire Nation attacked.
After a year and a half, I finally got my sibling registered as my home health aide. For the first time in my life, I am able to not worry about getting the bills paid and can just live. My anxiety and depression cleared up practically overnight. I went from stealing toilet paper from my college to getting takeout once a month. It's insane. Just having enough money to live, I feel like I can breathe again, and there's no longer this crushing weight. I'm not one bad day from combusting, and I've never experienced this before. Is this what it's like to have money? Is this how normal people feel? Have I become normal? This dichotomy between Din and his mom, living contentedly while poor, and Long being miserable while surrounded by riches, is a false dichotomy. There are enough resources for everyone. But instead of the message being to share the riches, it's to stop pursuing financial security. But fuck that. Financial security is a right. Wanting enough money to survive an emergency and to not live paycheck to paycheck is not being selfish. In between poverty and billionaire status are a whole lot of levels. Levels where people get to feel like people again, like they aren't working themselves to death, like they can finally breathe and just exist. I can't say it any better than this. So here's that good old news, dude.
If you want to know what scares a rich ghoul, it's this, right here. A poster on the unemployment subreddit titled, "For 4 months I felt normal." This person wrote, "For the 4 months that the $600 was in place, I got to feel normal for the first time in my entire life. For once, I could afford all my bills and have a little left over to enjoy. My entire adult life, I worked jobs that paid just over the minimum wage. I worked hard and never got ahead financially. I even felt the government was doing right by me for the first time. I don't know if we'll ever see that again, but it was nice while it lasted. It's sad that the majority is left out and that it took a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic to be able to feel what it is like to make a fair amount of money. I still maintain that the problem wasn't the $600, it was the fact that so many jobs pay so poorly." That scares the shit out of the Lindsey Grahams and Bill Gateses of the world. That is what they fear far more than a pandemic growing out of control. Someone getting just a tiny glimmer of comfort and normalcy, and wondering why they don't deserve this the rest of the time. Why can't they keep that little $600, which makes such a huge difference to them, while Jeff Bezos makes $35 billion extra during a pandemic?
Money could and has solved a lot of my problems. Student loans? Money. Medical debt? Money. House falling apart? Money. Transportation? Money. Housing? Money. Vet bills? Money. A message to be grateful for what you have is a good message for kids, but to frame it as an either-or situation is dishonest and ignores the complexities of life. And, oh yeah, eat the rich. Well, I was stuck in bed, and you were stuck here with me. But now you may go and live your lives. Go, be cute, keep gay, be crime. Bye!
Julie, do the thing.
Don't freak out, it's not real.